So, Khanak, you can start with your journey. Like both of you can speak on these points. Like you can start with your journey as a CA, where you did your articles from a brief, कि यहाँ से करिए, and where did you start working in, and how was your experience? Please mute yourself. Okay, fine. So, how has been your experience, and how was your experience in IIM Ahmedabad? How was your experience in Bank of America, and what you do today? Like, let's say if a CA wants to get into management consulting, which is the dream job for any CA. I don't know why, but yes, this is. So how they can get into management consulting? Simple questions. We'll start with you, Khanak.
Hi. So, I mean, I cleared my CA 2019. Before that, I have done my articleship with Sarani and Company. And my father's from like was a mix. And then after CA, which I completed in like May 19, I had my first job with Vedanta in mergers and acquisitions. That was in Mumbai. For a brief period of 7 months, and then due to some issues, I shifted to EY, IDT, for another 7 months. So it was 2 jobs, 7 months, 7 months, and then I got a call from IMA. So I mean, I joined IMA in 2021. So it was a 2 years course. So from 21 to 23, there I interned during my summers with Bank of America, investment bank division. That was again out of Mumbai, and then in the finals, like we have two systems, summers and finals. In the finals, I chose like I sat for Bain and Company, management consulting profile, and yeah, I got there. So recently, due to industry issues and our joining was delayed, so I just joined in back in November, and right now I would say I'm doing my first project, that is a consumer goods project. So yeah.
So like I'm going now. So I am Sagar, and I completed my CA in November 19, and I did my articleship from SS Kothari Mehta and Company in Delhi. So post CA, I joined Wipro in SAP consulting profile, and within 2 years of working there, I felt myself that to grow myself and going from like tech consulting to management consulting space, I need to do an MBA. And that's how I gave different exams and got a call from ISB and hence joined ISB. So about my ISB experience so far, so first thing is like you get to know and meet different types of cohort. Like ISB has like one of the most diverse cohort. We have army veterans who have served 25 years in Navy and got Nausena Medal from President. We have intelligence officers from your Department of Revenue. We have IITians, we have doctors. So like talking and meeting with different kind of cohort is a new experience for me. Second thing is like there is something called class participation, which I saw first time in ISB only. That whenever there is professors discussing of some case study and all, we all have to participate in that case, and it is graded also based on our participation. So it is more a practical oriented learning. Third thing is we like, for example, finance subjects. Like I did a subject, finance subject, and in that subject we are generally required that we are given the data that this is a data for like last 20 years of the stock market. So based on the data, decide your stocks which you will pick, and then make a presentation and then present yourself in front of the class. So from the theoretical learning which we did in CA, we like moved into a more practical oriented learning. That was one of the things. Another thing is like college life, like the college life, it is one thing that is like missing here. So this is like first time I saw the college and I really enjoyed it. Another thing is like I also there is different kind of bodies in college. Like we have academic council, we have this council, that council, sports council. So there is one of a Toastmasters club, which is a public speaking club basically. So I fought an election there, and it is the first time that I presented myself and asked for getting votes. So that is like something of a new experience for me. And another thing is global exposure. From next month, I am going to Stockholm School of Economics in Sweden, Europe, for pursuing my international exchange program from there. So going there and meeting the students there, and doing an MBA from a different country, like MBA, one term of an MBA from a different country, and that too from a college which is among the best in Europe in finance. So that is something I cannot do in a CA. So different kind of things. And now I'm going to join an impact consulting company, which really tie up and governments, decide the strategies for their programs and all.
Oh, that's amazing. I mean, both the experiences are amazing and something to look forward to and very intriguing to hear as well. So few questions that I generally get in my class is, sir, because this is a kind of a FOMO in Generation Z, कि MBA नहीं है तो कुछ नहीं है. Though I personally disagree, there are two MBAs sitting in front of me and I'm merely a CA with a second attempt with a very low score, but with a decent work ex in industry and consulting as well. I personally feel as a CA, you can do a lot. However, those who want to pursue MBA, how can they do it? Like, when should they do it? From where should they do it? And after how many years they can pursue it, or they can directly start off as a fresher? This is one question that I get. अभी MBA करूँ या बाद में करूँ? और करूँ तो कहाँ से करूँ? और उससे क्या फायदा होगा? ये कुछ questions है. If you can just cater to these questions one by one, Khanak first and then Sagar.
Okay. So first of all, like at least in our 2-year course, right, IIMA, we had variety of individuals like who are freshers, like maybe 21 years old, only like have done bachelors, and some other 29 years old who have done a lot of experience. Okay. So I mean, I would say that it matters. It affects a bit on your internship and final placements, but like at least if you want to do 2-year course, you can do it at any age. Like it's fine. Like it's your experience. Okay. But again, like so as Sagar said, right, there are a variety of cohorts, and you have to like compete because since our CA, it's like you have crossed the 400 marks, you're passed. Okay. And in our case, like in MBA, it's everything is rated grading. Okay. Like the judgment is like, are you better than others? So that's something, at a personal level and at experience level, you might lack. So it's recommended that you should do it after at least 1 year experience so that you can a bit experience how people in the corporate world. Because in MBA, you can't expect people to be like nice. So
Okay.
yeah, I mean there are variety of people, so you have to be for us a bit of smart. Second, from where you can do it. So there are 3 options. Okay, so for us, like 2 years MBA, like Sagar, maybe 1 year MBA, and third is global MBAs. Okay, so I would say there are a lot of factors. Like first factor, of course, the cost, right? I mean, for us it's 25 lakhs, for Sagar it's 40 lakhs. For in global MBAs, it's more than that. Second, I would say that it's your experience. Second, I would say that it's your experience. So, for example, if you have a bit of like good experience, for example, in BCM, or so you might. So the Indian MBAs won't add so much value to your profile, to be honest. So that you can consider.
Okay. So what I can understand is that if you do it post a year of experience, that will add up more value rather than doing it today as a fresher. This is what I can understand from your entire.
Yeah, because what happens is like when freshers join us, they have a bit problem during their placements, like because they don't get the best of it. So if you are paying 25 lakhs, 40 lakhs, we want to get the best of it, right?
Yes, absolutely. And even the number of vacancies in such a recession market would be less.
Yeah.
And even if it is a green market, then also if a company is getting an experienced candidate, they will probably prefer them over a fresher. This is like a commonsensical thing that a company will choose.
The next year is not good for doing MBAs because we are anyway, even Bain is not hiring right now. Like not even CAs, no one. So.
None of them are hiring in CA campus as well. I can tell you.
Yeah.
Like, none has appeared in the off-campus placements that they come with. None of the management consulting firms have come for that. So if I ask you, Khanak, क्योंकि आप Bain में हो, तो जैसे मैं मान लीजिए सेकंड अटेम्प्टर हूँ या इवन फर्स्ट अटेम्प्टर भी हूँ, तो मान लेते हैं मैं एक एक्स फर्म से हूँ जो कि जयपुर की एक बेस्ट फर्म मानी जाती है या एक मिड साइज फर्म मानी जाती है कि कुछ भी फर्म है, बेन पहुंच सकता हूँ क्या मैं?
Yes, I mean if they're hiring, yes, because
give me honest answer. बेन पहुंच सकता हूँ क्या?
Yes.
How?
So for example, they only have a program ACs, that's associate consultants. They hire directly from like IITs and even they hire fresher CAs. So I have some CAs who are only CAs in our team. So yeah.
No. I am a second attempter, man.
Yes. I don't think so. Attempt and rank matters.
But when we go through LinkedIn, the story is something very different.
See, LinkedIn, you only get like extreme stories, like extremely happy, extremely sad stories.
No. When we search on LinkedIn about the people who have joined such organizations, we only get a sense that only rankers can make it to that place, or maybe someone from Big Four can make it to that place, or maybe someone with a great extracurricular activity having a spike, as you people call it, a spike, which makes a lot of spice, can get into such companies. So for a person having a very average or moderate, articles exposure and candidature, can they get into such fields?
I guess because you have to just clear the interview process. That's it. Like you don't need a rank, you don't need you just need a good experience.
They don't shortlist people. That's the first point. Right. I don't think they shortlist. They have a very stringent criteria of rank. From a consultant point of view, I can clearly see, and even the data speaks for itself. If we go through the data in the past, they have a very stringent and a skewed policy towards rankers. That's fine because they don't come up with many jobs. They would prefer the best, and there is no harm going for them. But let's say through lateral hiring, how can I get into management consulting? Through lateral hiring. Though there is a separate session, management consulting, with Rajat Gupta. That's the third session. But since you also work there, so I just want to touch upon that thing as well. Through lateral hiring, they also hire like post 2 years of
Yeah,
experience.
they do hire. Yeah, they
तो
can
कहाँ काम
hire.
करें? Big Four में करें, FMCG करें, e-commerce करें, क्या चाहिए क्या इनको?
I mean, since we have more than, I don't know, a lot of people. I don't have that much idea, but like I've heard people they hire from like what focused funds. So I have only seen people laterally being hired from focused funds or like these. I haven't seen people being hired laterally from big fours.
Okay, fine.
As
No,
of
that's
now,
absolutely.
so yeah.
So you can speak for your experience, whatever your experience is. Fine. Okay, great. Sagar, your views. कब करना चाहिए MBA? आपने तो बाद में किया है, ISB से किया है, तो एग्जीक्यूटिव किया है, तो क्या वो एक सही तरीका है या क्या करना चाहिए?
So the MBA which I did, it is not an executive MBA. It is a 1-year MBA, but not executive MBA.
अच्छा, I'm sorry then. I would like to correct myself. Right.
Or like second thing is MBA कब करना चाहिए? So if I talk about ISB takes only which has minimum of 2 years of experience. So like ISB तो लेता ही 2 year बाद है, but आपको generally ही करना है, तो it depends on person. Like I've actually seen someone who had given both the CAT exam in November and CA exam in November also, and he got a rank in CA and get into IIM Ahmedabad. And I've seen those people also. But if I like talk about myself कि कब करना चाहिए, तो मेरे according ना एक like 1 to 2 years you work in some college at Khanak side, like because when you work somewhere you get to know about corporate life and you get a agent placements also. So like there are two advantages. And the MBA the like MBA life is quite different from the life of a CA. So in MBA basically they prepare you for the corporate itself. So when you like work for 2 years in corporate, you get to know that how to get the things done. तो एक ये ना एक बहुत बड़ी चीज़ है जो फायदा करती है, आई विल से. एंड सेकंड थिंग इज लाइक अगर आपको आईएम वगैरह में जाना है तो दे हैव अ सेपरेट मार्क्स आल्सो लाइक 5% वेजेस टू वर्क एक्सपीरियंस. सो आपको एक परसेंटाइल में भी एक एज मिलती है. सेकंड थिंग इज दैट so it like helps in placement, help you in getting to the college, and help you in getting things done inside the college. So all three places where you have a benefit.
So you are also suggesting that post maybe a year or two experience, they can pursue MBA, right?
Right.
But so there are people who like pursue, like in my team only, there are fresher CAs, they went to IMA without any experience and right now they're working in MBA. But it depends on person to person. Do you think that you can, because when as a fresher, right, it's a lot of stress when you go to MBA because first day is like just like a roller coaster. You get a lot of things on your plate. If you think you can manage everything around your people skill, your profession, your placement things and your academic things, then of course go for it. It will save a year or two. So yeah.
Okay. So how has been your work-life balance and in your respective colleges, the work-life balance, which is a lot talked about while we pursue jobs and while we work, and even as a student, we are nowadays by a lot of pundits over YouTube and LinkedIn taught that work-life balance is the primary thing that you should focus on and tuck other things. So what about work-life balance? What's your take on work-life balance, and how has been your work-life balance in your respective colleges? And Khanak can also speak about work-life balance in consulting, though there's a separate speaker for that. But you can also share your experience. How has been your work-life balance, and what is work-life balance for you?
So
Just quickly, Sagar first, and then Khanak.
Like if I talk about ISB, so it like because it is a 1-year MBA, but they pack the learnings of 2 year in just 1 year. So if I talk about college life balance, so it is like we have a class in the early mornings and we have assignments in the evening, and there are several days where we don't get to sleep itself. Like we are working like late, studying, doing the assignments or making the PPT late at 4 a.m. and then we have to get up at 8 a.m. and go to the class. So like ISB के बारे में I can say कि अगर यहाँ पे आना तो, and I am sure that it's true for other IMA and other IIMs also कि MBA करना है तो I will like forget the sleep. There will be several days कि आपको सोने को नहीं मिलेगा. And there second thing is like you have to learn prioritizing things. So there are 10 things going about like in a MBA कि एक क्लास है, एक असाइनमेंट है, कि ये है, वो है, एक एक्टिविटी है, तो आपको like कौन सी एक्टिविटी करनी है अभी, कौन सी बाद में करनी है. So that is one thing. Third thing is like when I got like in the first time in MBA, so there is something called FOMO कि तब ये लगता है कि like जो भी कॉलेज में हो रहा है ना, सब में जाना है, सारी एक्टिविटीज करनी है, स्पोर्ट्स में भी जाना है, इधर भी जाना है, उधर भी जाना है. But as you come towards the end, अब उसके बाद you turn FOMO into JOMO कि joy of missing out.
Jomo, nice word. I've learned a new word today. Okay, nice. So you are saying that work-life balance is a kind of a fad being rolled out on different social media platforms. It is all about how much motivated are you to work and to learn, right? This is probably what you're saying.
Yeah, but like initial year mein na, I will say like in initial years of life when you are during your career, then work life don't matter that much. But yeah, after 3-4 years of working and when you're towards like settling yourself, then it matters a lot. So like,
but since we are addressing freshers, so probably the advice would be to work hard in the initial 5-7 years at least.
Right.
And you are still in a college. Right. You're not even working, and you are speaking about work-life balance in college, not even in a job. So if a person can slog hard in college, then definitely expect a slogging in job as well. And you are a fresher from a management perspective, right? Management study perspective.
Basically, they are saying that we are preparing you for the corporate only. So they are doing the, for example, we have a concept called study groups where, now we know everyone, but in the initial phase, they just team up a random people of 5. And, those 5 have to do assignment together. Whether you like the person or not, you have to work with him and the assignment presentation together. So this is their way of saying that when you are working somewhere, you don't get a chance to choose your team. So why you get a chance here to choose your study group?
And they're absolutely moving on with Khanak. Khanak, what's your take on the same matter?
I would say the same as Sagar, like, even in 2 years, right? At least the first year is like a roller coaster. That's what they say. So, like, if you have cleared the first term, like, so a year is divided into 3 terms for us. So, if you have passed the first term, I mean, you can just do anything and everything in short. So, it's basically a stress tester. So, again, like, morning 8:30 classes. So, what happens in our case is 8:30 to 1:30, we have 3 classes in the morning. And then there will be a surprise quiz at 2:45. For
What
that,
surprise quiz?
yeah, a surprise quiz.
When you know the time, how come it is a surprise then?
No, so you don't know which subject. That's the deal.
Okay. Subject wise, it is a surprise.
Yeah,
The
and you don't know
schedule
the
is
date
set, but
also.
the subject is not set. Okay.
You don't know the date also, basically. So, for example, 1:30, I'm done with the classes now. For the 2:45 quiz, I'll get a notification 1:45. So that you have a quiz in an hour of this subject. I might or might not get it. Okay. So you have to be like, you have to be on your toes. Okay, you have to be like fully prepared, or you can just like let it be. Doesn't matter, right? Like it's your choice. And then 2:45, you will have a quiz. It might go to 3:30, 4, whatever. And then of course, you have things for the day. You have assignments for the day. There are certain clubs. So for example, I maybe have 50 clubs. Finance club, consulting club, your sports club, your economics club, your music club, dance club. It comes like it's everything. So they're having their own process. They're having their own applications. That you have to finish assignment, then class assignment, then your some much business are on your mind. You have to make your CV, apply for forms, prepare for forms. So yeah, you ultimately end up sleeping at 4, and then again waking up to go at 8:30 classes. But I think it's fun because you don't want to miss out on something. You don't want to miss out on club. You don't want to miss out on hanging with the people. You don't want to miss out with the gossip, to be honest. So
Yes,
yeah,
it is an inseparable part of study. It is an inseparable part of study.
yeah, and of course, Sagar, you can. Some people choose to not choose one thing, and go to sleep at 12 and get 6 hours of sleep. So it's again your choice. And of course, in meantime, after first term, you learn to prioritize. That okay, I want this thing, I don't want this thing, and then you can of course have your schedule according to whatever you want. But there will be always the things that you want to do, but you have to of course let them go. So.
Absolutely. Oh, that's great. And how has been your work-life balance? I think it's not been much time working with me, but generally, let's say for a consultant working being, how is their work-life balance and what their working hours or how it goes?
So maybe first I will talk about BOFA, Bank of America, IB, my internship, and then maybe Bain. Does that work? Yeah. So like at least for my summer internship at Bank of America, so IBs are known to have a very bad work-life balance, and it had so I used to go to the office at 10 in the morning and then maybe come back by 2 or 3 in the night. So yeah, I mean, okay. So maybe it was like 16 hours, 14 to 16 hours work, and then just sleep or do whatever you want to do in the rest 6-7 hours. And it was also the same. I mean, there was no leave on weekend also, so you have to work on weekends at least 10 hours. So at least this was about the idea. So that's why I gave up on it because I didn't want to do such hard work.
No, that's personal choice, no problem.
Yeah, and Bain, so in general, Bain is known to have a good work-life balance. So here, I mean, generally it's it's around 12 hours. So maybe 10 to 10, 10 to 9.
Ma'am, we are expecting a 10 to 5 job. You're saying 12 hours is a good work-life balance. The expectation is just 10 to 7 or 10 to 5, 6 maximum.
That's not even a government job these days.
Thank you for saying that. I actually wanted you to say it. I want someone to mouth it, and you are the one who will mouth it for me. Actually,
that's
this is
not
a thing.
That's. I mean, if you are working that much, then you're not doing good work because at least in initial years, okay, that's fine if after 5-6 years of experience that you know how the things work. But initially, when you don't know how things work, you have to put in the extra effort. You have to do the extra reading. Otherwise, trust me, after 2-3 months, you will be exhausted because you don't know where things are going. And your supervisor will only give you 2-3 months to gel up, to speed up. That's it. So, Bain Man generally it's 12 hours, and then
it depends on the project. Probably it will also depend on the project, how much it requires.
Yeah, but in general, But in general, sir, brain is like, you don't work on weekends. If you work on weekends, you get a cool off. So yeah,
That's nice.
it's a good place
That's
to
quite
work.
cool. That's quite cool to get a cool off.
Yeah.
Not a regular practice here in India. In most organizations, it is not a practice. Most MNCs may have, but otherwise.
So BCG and MEC don't have this, but Bain has this. So yeah, that's why I chose Bain.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Okay, last question, and then we close the session because we have planned another session with two other speakers. I think Sagar would be able to answer that question well. How important is to choose a profile while working as a chartered accountant? Sagar, I don't speak about your experience on campus, but you can at least guide them that what is important, what is.
Like I will say, when first clear the CA, so profile matters a lot. There are some jobs which are not so good, but they are maybe paying you high CTC, whereas there are some jobs where learning is more, but they are maybe paying little less CTC. So you should prefer those which has a better profile. For example, like if someone is getting a job in maybe FP&A or maybe even auditing also, or maybe in a VC, and they are paying low, where vis-a-vis work, whereas in FP&A and VC, IB and these kind of profile, you get to use your brain. The initial bit that matters a lot.
Sorry to interrupt you. Did your past choices affect your campus at ISB?
Yes, it do affect much. For example, there is a company which is hiring for IB, and it has a certain number of candidates to train. And there are some candidates who have a work experience in IB itself, and I have a work experience in FICO, SAP Consulting itself. So they will definitely prefer if I am on equal with someone else, and they want to choose one of them. So they will definitely prefer one who has the same IB experience. Vis-a-vis, FICO is a completely different thing. So this do affect a lot actually, and especially in this market where there's an economic slowdown. Like in a green market, when you have a job, so it doesn't affect that much. But currently, when like numbers are already less, and you have like 10 people competing for a job of one, then they do affect.
Right. Khanak, what's your take on that? Profile. You were in a good profile. Both the profiles were good. Vedanta one and the EY one. And how much did that affect your campus?
I would say, Vedanta profile affected me a lot, like in a good way. So,
though that stint was short, that stint was very short for probably 7 months.
7 months.
What I remember.
Yeah, 7 months only, but that did affect
Still
me
it paid off well. Still it paid off well.
Yes, because I got all the IB shortlist because of that.
Okay. Oh, nice. That's great.
Yeah, because they
any profiles that both of you suggest for CA freshers to join. So what profiles they can prefer quickly, because we want to close this now. Quickly, what profiles would you suggest? Someone who is looking for a job in finance or a good analytical job profile.
I mean, I would say go for business finance. I think because it's a cool finance job, and of course you want to try for good profiles like M&A, maybe this merger and acquisitions and deals. You want to try for that. If you don't get it, then go for business finance. Like just because, as Sagar said, just because there are any profiles paying for good money, do search for this because there is no growth in that.
Business finance or maybe IB or M&A. This is what you suggest, right? Okay, Sagar,
yeah, it helps you to understand finance. That's it. Like
right. Understood.
So like if you are not able to get business finance or M&A but you are able to get such a audit profile, so then go for it instead of bank or in fact SAP also.
Thank you for saying this.
Despite being an SAP, I will say instead of SAP, if you're getting an audit, you're not getting FP&A, you're not getting finance, but you are able to get statutory audit, then go for it. It is a good startup point because you can move from anywhere from auditing itself.
Right. Absolutely. So thank you, Sagar, and thank you, Khanak, for your valuable time. And thank you as a friend. Thank you कि आप आए और आपने बात करी. So really thank you for your time, and on Sunday. In case if anyone wants to reach out, can they reach out to you over LinkedIn?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, fine. So if anyone wants to reach out, please reach out to them over LinkedIn. They must be available with the same names, obviously. Khanak Mittal and Sagar Garg. You can just message them and you can write that you're from HR Trikaya. They might answer you. I don't know, but they might answer you, what I believe. And I hope. So thank you for your time, Sagar and Khanak. It was a pleasure speaking to you.
Calling us, sir. It was fun.
Thank you.
It was a fun discussion, I will say.
Please quickly.
So if we are not able to crack IIMs, so is it good enough to be in a decent college? Will it suffice?
By decent college, you mean?
Normal college. I'm not saying specifically for Jaipur, but not IIM.
So you mean like SPGen, is it?
Symbiosis
or
and
MBA?
other. Yes. I mean.
So see, first of all, before choosing any college, right, you need to see their placements because that's what you're going there for, right? So for example, it's good to be in FMS, MBI, and even SPGen. But I'm not that sure about other colleges, to be honest. And it's also good to be in XRI, but not in other colleges, in my opinion. What do you say, Sai?
I would say that
Okay.
even for the new, I would say for a CA, like, going anywhere below IIM Shillong is not you, because you will not get that kind of cohort there and that kind of placements there. And like, go for top 10 or top 20, just like SP Gen, top old 6 old IIMs plus Shillong, ISB, XLRI, SP Gen, and FMS. And yeah, I will say FMS is the best in terms of ROI, like 2 lakhs of fees and 30 plus lakhs of placements.
So as I'm already working in the industry with having a 2 year of experience, so the first thing that a chartered accountant thinks from a financial point of view also. So the cost of doing an MBA, it's I think that it's an exorbitant fees that they charge. So what kind of ROI a chartered accountant can expect after doing that? And if this simple basic calculation, what we run into our mind is that if we go for the 2 year MBA, so for sure 2 years salary will be blocked. So there will be a potential loss of 25 to 30 lakhs. Another 30 lakhs we are going to spend on an MBA. So it is coming approx 60 lakhs after 2 years that we haven't earned and we have paid for it. So how do we see that? And even if we talk about a growth opportunity for the over and over year, I think that if I'm standing over right now, whatever my salary is, I think after post 2 years, I can expect a 30 to 40% hike in my salary, even after switching or whatever the way it is. So how does it deal with it, and how it is practical that to land into an MBA, and what ROI we can expend post
Cost benefit. Cost benefit. Simple question. Cost benefit of an MBA.
what we can see that, because even before going over there also you have also analyzed all those aspects. So if you can just brief us about that, so I think that it would be great.
Okay. So to be honest, for me, it was never the cost benefit analysis. I'll be very honest. For me, it was about the profile because I didn't want to do finance. But again, after MBA, for example, if you want to go to finance, okay, so IB pay 50 lakhs at the base after 2 years, and it grows like decent, like 20% you can assume. It grows a decent amount, which you can never, which you can, if you can, but it's hard to get it as a CA because there are very limited profiles that to, CAs they hire in IBs. MBAs they hire a lot, okay? And then you can move to like PEs. But for example, if you want to change to consulting, so after like if you join as a CA, right? So mostly CAs or IIT undergrads, they choose to do global MBAs after 2-3 years because when you go to at a higher level, maybe a senior manager or partner, the proportion of CAs getting there or undergrads getting there is very less as compared to the MBA getting there. So initially, maybe if you could say 2-3 years, you won't be able to break even. But after MBA, for example, at this point of time, 2 years MBA plus 2-3 years of job, 5 years for sure there will be higher growth opportunities. I don't have the exact numbers in my mind, but yeah, the growth is exponential. And of course, you get to choose from different profiles.
Yeah, I would agree with Khanak. It's the same actually. Like, in the initial 2-3 years, you will get to choose different profiles. Like front end IB or front end consulting, CAs don't generally get to these there. That's the first thing. And second thing is, if I talk about my cohort, there are lots of people. There are 50 CAs in currently in ISB around, and around half of them are rank holders. And there are lots which are already working in ITC, HUN, and all. They are already earning 25 to 30 lakhs per annum. So people come from getting to that kind of profile that they want to get after a certain level. When the growth is growth at a CA, growth becomes stagnant at a certain stage. And and second thing is network. The most that good thing about MBA is network. You get to network with a different kind of people. And suppose post 5 years you want to do a startup or you want to start your own entrepreneur venture, then that networks helps a lot. And in not only network, the college also helps a lot. For example, in ISB we have something called D Labs, which provides the support for the entrepreneurial ventures for the alums. So that support you get, that is unmatched, I will say.
Okay, so thank you. We close this session here.